morning, good afternoon, guys, and happy holidays. Merry Christmas. We're back for another Geek Tavern. As always, it's me, Shawn, and I'm joined by Mike.
Hello.
And Aaron. And today we'll be talking about the Santa Clause trilogy as recommended by Aaron. Take us away, Aaron.
So these movies follow Tim Allen's character, Scott Calvin, SC.
Who works at a toy
Who works for company. A toy company. And on Christmas Eve, he accidentally causes the death of the current Santa Claus and inherits the mantle of Santa Claus. And these movies follow his adventures as Santa Claus. May I say, he is a damn fine Santa Claus.
He is. He's a good Santa. It is strange to me that he just picks up the robe off the ground of a... Like, he obviously saw him falling off the roof, like, and there's no body there, but he's like, oh, I'll take the robe.
Yeah.
Maybe he thought he was just like a robber. He's like, oh, I gotta get out of here, and ran away.
We didn't know Santa was a Jedi.
Yeah.
Because he just vanishes away.
Yeah, but, so the movie is essentially Scott Calvin coming to terms with the fact that he has to be Santa Claus now. Because at first he doesn't want to be Santa Claus, and then obviously... over the course of the film, he realizes, oh yeah, maybe I do want to be Santa Claus. Because who doesn't want to be Santa Claus? It's a lot of work, I'm sure, but
only one day a year.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of work one day a year, and then a significant amount of work to lead up to that point.
I suppose.
I do have one question though. So he starts to like get more Christmassy, like as like the transformation is happening. Do you think that that's like the Santa like mantle like infecting him to be more jolly?
It's like some Willem Dafoe goblinitis.
Yeah.
Shit.
Santa-itis.
Yeah. Because
the Santa like is overtaking his mind.
Yeah, because like at first he's just like, oh, you know, what's happening to me or whatever, and then he's at that business meeting at the toy company, and he like gets that huge buffet of lunch, and then they're like,
desserts.
Yeah, and he's like, they talk about the new toy they're going to release, and it's like a Santa Claus in a tank, and he's like, oh yeah, just what you want, Santa rolling down the street in a Panzer. It's like he clearly took issue with the fact that Santa would be portrayed that way.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if Scott would have felt that way beforehand.
Probably not.
So I'm wondering if it's just like him...
The Christmas spirit possessing him.
Yeah, the Christmas spirit possessing him.
That sounds like a different movie.
You could recut this as a horror trailer.
Yeah,
probably.
he killed Santa Claus, and then he takes over as Santa Claus.
Yeah.
I'm sure that exists already, though.
Yeah, I'm sure it does. There's all kinds of different cuts on YouTube of stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so that's pretty much what the movie is, right?
Yeah.
It's just like him. We get like scenes of him interacting with his ex-wife and her new husband about
Ronald.
Yeah.
Neil.
Yeah, Neil. About like obviously they clearly don't believe that he's Santa Claus because they're adults.
Right.
And, you know, Santa Claus isn't real. So
He's not.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that I was breaking this news to you.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So that's where that conflict comes. And then most of it is just basically saying that he's an unfit parent to Charlie because
he gains like a significant amount of weight. He looks disheveled. Like there's a lot running against Scott in this movie. Because like his physical appearance is also making like the lawyers and shit. They're like, he's looking a little bad these days. Like I don't think that he's mentally well to take it. And then on top of that, thinking that he's Santa Claus and like trying to convince people like that he is.
Yeah.
They're like, he's insane.
Yeah.
You can't be a father figure.
And Charlie just being adamant of the fact that he is Santa Claus. It's like you don't want a kid growing up in that type of environment.
Yeah.
Because they'll be like the eternal outcast, essentially. Yeah. So
I can't remember. Does he have to have the beard?
Yeah. So like he goes through like, so he like grows the beard, and then he like freaks out because his hair's growing white and he
Right.
has a huge beard. So he like gets hair dye and he like dyes his hair and then he shaves everything off and then he's like all clean shaven and then like in 2 seconds it fills back in and his hair goes white. He's like,
Okay.
oh, big trouble.
I thought I remembered that scene, but I couldn't remember if I was also mistaking it for like Heaven Almighty.
Yeah.
But
I think that something similar does happen in Heaven Almighty.
Well, it does.
Yeah.
I do more specifically remember that because I don't know why I like those movies.
I like
Quite a
Bruce
bit.
Almighty.
Yeah, I like them both. Anyway, we're not here for that.
Can be.
No,
I do like those movies. Yeah, so I've seen this quite a few times, but it's one of those movies that I feel like it doesn't stay in my brain.
yeah.
Like it's I would call it forgettable.
Okay.
I don't-
I think
I don't
it's a great.
why.
I think it's a great movie. I've watched it a ton of times. I've watched all of these.
I watch it every Christmas.
Yeah, it. So like, yeah, it's like
I
one
have
of
the
those
last
movies
couple
where you
years.
have to-
I don't know why. Like I just forget every time, like certain parts. You know?
Mhm. I think that's a good quality of certain movies because you can go back and be like, oh yeah, it's like watching it for the first time again.
Yeah.
What movie did we recently talk about where we said like there's
Are
just
you joking or do you don't remember?
I don't
It's
remember.
The Nice Guys.
That's right. And then when I watch again, I'll be like, oh right, I don't remember the plot.
I think I'm gonna remember from here on out. But yeah,
I
yeah.
kind of forget.
Well, there you go. You get to watch it.
I guess so.
brand new all over again.
Yeah.
It's like they're all like feel good movies.
Yeah.
This one, I mean, well, I'll say whenever we get there, but yeah, it's just like it puts you in the Christmas spirit, really.
Mm.
It's just like a staple of the Christmas season. Like this is like there's always those handful of movies that you have to watch around Christmas time, and like maybe not the entire trilogy is a part of that, but certainly the first one is.
Yeah.
Because it's just like a great movie.
I would say the first one is kind of, I don't know if I want to say miles better than the other two, but I don't think the last two are as good.
Well, I believe Aaron and I will have some
I'm gonna have
striking
disagreement
opinions
there.
about that whenever we get to the sequel.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's hard to really pick out any particular moments in the movie because it's really just
The weenie whistle.
the weenie whistle. Yeah, whenever I do like whenever Scott gets captured being Santa Claus and they're interrogating him and they're like, oh, like they're basically trying to like, who are you? Like I think they know that it's Scott Calvin,
Yeah.
right? And they're like, who are you? And he's like, Santa Claus. He's like, I'm Saint Nicholas.
Papa Noel.
Yeah.
Papa Gijo.
That's a great one. Oh, Gijo. That's a great moment. And they're like, okay, this guy's a crackpot. And then the elves break him out. Oh yeah, Bernard. We gotta talk about Bernard.
David Krumholtz.
Yeah,
Who could
David-
forget?
David Krumholtz. His presence is severely missing in the third movie,
Yeah.
which I think is a detriment to the film. But I like he might be my favorite character of all of these movies because he's just like he's basically Santa's number 2 elf, and he's just like, yeah, like I basically run the show. I have to tell you everything, like that you have to do.
Mm.
I guess we should mention the name of the movie, the Santa Clause,
Yeah.
because it's literally like a clause in a
Right.
contract,
Yeah.
which was, very clever pun
Mhm.
wordplay. I have
For
to say.
years, I've written Santa Claus with an E because I didn't realize that it was a play on words.
So the Santa Clause is basically because the previous Santa had died, Scott put on the robe. He inherits the job of Santa Claus, and I don't think that they say there's a way to get out of it. Is there? Like, not at least in this movie.
I thought the note said something about like maybe it's something that happens in one of the later movies, but
Yeah.
wasn't there something about like the only way out is
For him to die.
To die?
Yeah, that might be.
Like, I'm
they might
remembering
mention
that,
that in this first movie because
Yeah.
like the only way that you can actually not be Santa Claus
Yeah.
is to die and somebody else to take it, which we find out is not entirely true in the third movie. But I love the visual of them where they're like, "Oh, it's the Santa Claus," and they're like pulling like all these magnifying glass down to like enhance like the like
fine print.
yeah the smallest of print on this like Santa Claus contract.
Yeah.
Yeah, just great visuals. The production value of them looking like it looks like they're in the like Santa's workshop. Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, these are kind of some of those movies that they're almost not good, like, review.
Traditionally,
Well, they're not
Yeah.
good, like, review movies. Like,
Yeah.
oh, that's true. Yeah,
because you just gotta watch it, kind of thing.
Yeah.
yeah, you just have to be in the moment, watch
Yeah.
it, feel the spirit of Christmas.
Because it's not like an action movie where we can talk about the fight scenes and the.
Oh, we can in the second one.
Yeah, we can in the second one. Yeah, I mean, I guess if that's everything we have to say about the first one.
Yeah.
And then the second one's exactly the same.
No, it is not exactly the same. Do we want to wait and rate them all at the end, or
Yeah, we'll
it
wait.
now? Okay. Well, I guess I'll take over the reins for the second film. So, the Santa Claus 2, it takes place like
8 years.
like 8 years. Okay, it takes place 8 years after the events of the first movie. Santa Claus has been Scott Calvin has been successfully performing the duties of Santa Claus for 8 years. He's getting into his own routine. And then he notices he is starting to lose like some of his magic. At a like what do they call it? The council? Is it like a council of fairy tale creatures or something like that?
With Peter Boyle as Father Time, played by his old boss.
Yeah, played by his boss in the first movie at the toy company.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like Santa Claus, the Easter Bunny, Cupid, Mother Nature, Father Time.
Isn't Aisha Tyler?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mother Nature.
Yeah.
The Tooth Fairy. The
May he
Molinator.
rest in peace.
Yeah, he just
He
recently passed.
died.
But yeah, so the movie starts with them. Well, actually, the movie starts with a plane flying over the North Pole, and they're like, "We're at ElfCon 1, or we're at ElfCon 2," and basically, like, they have to be radio silent so that like people don't find out that they have like an underground workshop in the North Pole, and Curtis. A new elf that is introduced in this film, who is a great character.
Who is Abigail Breslin's older brother.
Yep. He is listening to I think it's a Santa
It's a dance
animatronic.
music.
Is it saying Jingle Bell Rock?
I think it's playing Santa Claus is Coming to Town.
Yeah. But so like
But it's like almost like a reggae jazz version of it.
yeah. So he's like in a haystack, like in the sleigh, and he's like listening to this animatronic Santa go, and then the dudes in the airplane are like, "Sir, you're gonna want to hear this," and he like puts it up, and it's Santa Claus is coming to town. And Scott's just like running through the North Pole trying to find where Curtis is to shut him up. Curtis is like the problem elf in this movie.
Yeah.
And David Krumholtz as Bernard is back as well. But to the main plot of the movie, we find out that there is a Mythos Clause, spelled Clause, where Santa Claus has to find a wife, a Mrs. Claus, or he doesn't have access or the privilege of his magic and being able to be Santa Claus.
What happened to Mrs. Claus before?
Oh yeah, what did happen to the original Santa Claus?
Did they just kill her? Or
Maybe she
like...
died. Her like life is tethered to like that Santa
My
Claus.
God!
It's like a Viking funeral.
Scott takes one like bad like slip off a roof, and all of a sudden his wife's like
Yeah,
like
something
died
that.
too. Like,
Or maybe she ran away, because why does it take 8 years for it to matter?
that's what I mean. Like when he showed up, like was there not a Mrs. Claus? It was like, oh, see ya.
Yeah, I don't know.
My husband's dead.
Like, clearly it isn't the type of movie to be delving into this type of stuff into. Like,
But when you think about it, you're like, wait a minute.
yeah, I mean, whenever you really get into the nitty gritty of it, it doesn't quite hold up.
Or is it
under
because
magnifying
she's
glass, but
or is it because she's not magic, so she just maybe died of old age a long time ago or something like that?
I think that the Santa Clauses have a natural lifespan
Oh.
because we're seeing in the third film, like the Hall of Snow Globes, like there's a shit ton of them. So at least that's the way I interpreted it.
I never got the sense that there's like a immortality or
Yeah.
anything.
But yeah, so Scott has to, well, he's also dealing with Charlie being a problem child.
On the naughty list.
Yeah, Charlie's on the naughty list, and he has to go, address that.
With the principal
Yeah.
of the school.
And he also has to find somebody to marry him in like 4 weeks, or else he can't be Santa Claus.
So spoilers, he settles for the principal.
No, that's not what happens. They fall in love. Yeah, so they visit Charlie's like graffitiing up the gym with like anti-Christmas stuff.
Yeah.
And obviously he gets caught. And
What happened to him in 8 years?
well, it's addressed in the
Neglect.
movie. Yeah, he doesn't get to see his dad much. And then he even says, he's like, do you know how hard it is? My dad has the best job in the world and I can't tell anybody.
Yeah.
Like, my dad is Santa Claus and I literally can't tell anybody. So he has a lot of teenage angst because, like, first of all, he's like, oh, where's your dad? And it's like, oh, well, he's on business or whatever. Like, he can't say. And it's like, I want to tell people my dad's Santa Claus, but I can't. And, yeah, so that's where his, like, motivation and conflict come from. But, so, yeah, the principal punishes Charlie. He's going to expel him, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And Scott goes down and talks to everybody, and then I don't know why he chooses the principal to go on a date.
Scott also is a bit of an asshole in that scene where like Neil's like, well, what I think is he's like, oh, great. He's like, oh, do you got a pamphlet to pass around now too, Neil? Like, he's just being like an asshole and like just kind of pushing off everything that they're like saying about Charlie.
Yeah. That's like in the principal's office, right? Yeah. I really like Neil as a character. He's like one of my favorite characters in these movies.
He's a bumbling idiot.
Yeah, I mean he's a therapist. What is it? And then him and I forget Charlie's mom's name. They have a kid now.
Yeah. Lucy?
Lucy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she knows that. I guess she finds out in this movie that Scott is Santa Claus by the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Because, so obviously, Santa is like, oh, I can't leave the North Pole. We're like a month away from Christmas. Like somebody's got to be here to run shop. So, is it Curtis that it's like I've been working on something, and it's like they toyify him,
Yeah.
and then so they put Scott through like a toy flying machine, and then he comes out on the other side, and it's like it looks perfect, and it's like that's because it's me, you idiot.
Yeah.
That's a great joke.
Yeah.
But then Plastic Santa comes walking out.
Terrifying.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Plastic Santa is my favorite aspect of this entire movie.
Yeah, mine too.
I always thought he was like wasn't like traumatized,
Yeah.
but I was.
I mean, I think it's
creepy.
intentionally unsettling.
Yeah.
But as you could probably tell, I really enjoyed this movie.
Especially in the third act.
Yeah. So, yeah, Santa needs somebody to run this, the North Pole while he's gone, and Bernard is like, I could do it. I'm basically done it already. And he's like, no, we need like a figure Santa here. So they make Plastic Santa, who is like, I don't know. It's hard to explain Plastic Santa. It's like, it's not.
Can we just call him what he is, Mussolini?
Yeah, he is not Mussolini Santa. He becomes a dictator by the third act of the film, which is hilarious.
It is hilarious. He
Uh,
literally has a fucking uniform and everything.
I love when he's like drinking the hot cocoa and he's like, "Wow!" It's like,
That's good.
yeah,
Sam's got himself a little buzz.
like screaming.
Yeah.
Yeah, like ho ho ho.
Yeah, because they're like trying to like teach him like how to drink it, and he's like, and he like has it, and he's like looking to Curtis, and Curtis is like, he's like,
Yeah. He doesn't actually drink it. He's like,
yeah, and then he drinks it and chugs the whole thing like it's hot. Too.
Yeah,
And he's
yeah.
like, gulp, gulp,
Yeah,
gulp,
yeah,
gulp,
yeah.
gulp.
It should be like melting his mouth.
Yeah.
Because it's plastic. He's like, woo!
Yeah, because he's like,
Woo!
yeah.
We should talk about the costuming too. So, like, we mentioned it briefly for the first movie. Do you think that Tim Allen actually grew the beard?
I don't know. It always looks pretty good.
It does look like it could be real. I don't think he gained the weight though. He probably had a fat suit on.
Yeah, definitely.
In some shots, you're like, that could be an overweight Tim Allen.
I mean, it's. I mean, I've never not thought that it was like fake. Like, I think it's convincing like all the time.
Tim
Yeah.
Allen, if we tweet at you and ask you if you gained all that weight like Christian Bale, will you respond?
I don't know if Tim Allen's on Twitter.
Probably not.
He's a bit of an eccentric
Let's find
fellow
out.
these days. Yeah, so Mussolini Santa is running the North Pole in Scott's absence. And Curtis comes flying down from the North Pole. He's like, "We have a problem." And he meets Lucy, and it's like, "Oh, I work with Scott, Uncle Scott. Uncle Scott." And it's like, "What's wrong with your ears?" It's like, "I don't eat my green vegetables. Do you eat your green vegetables?" She freaks out. They need to capture the Tooth Fairy because Scott's out of magic. He used all of his magic to try and win over the principal.
What is her name?
I was just going to say, her name is escaping me at this moment.
No, the escape clause is the third one.
Yes, that's true. That's her, I think.
Which one?
Her.
That one? Laura?
No, that's his ex-wife.
Carol. Carol Calvin. Mrs. C. But yeah, so Carol, he wins her over. He uses all of his magic basically because they go on like a sleigh ride, and snow like deliberately over them, and he uses his magic to find out what all of the faculty and staff wanted as kids for their birth or for Christmas, and
then gets them all drunk.
yeah, he gets them all drunk, and then he basically is like, "Oh, by the way, I'm Santa Claus," and she thinks that he's like fucking with her because she confided in him saying it's like, "Oh, whenever I was a kid, I like wanted to marry Santa Claus," and he's like, "Oh,
do you now?"
Funny because I am Santa Claus." And then she's like, "Oh yeah, really funny." Basically, like, cause
Thanks, asshole.
yeah, because she's an adult and Santa Claus isn't real. But Charlie eventually, I guess him and Scott like reconcile, like they have that cathartic moment where he's like, what I mentioned earlier, it's like, I can't tell anybody, but you know, I love you and I want to spend time with you. They have that cathartic moment, and they capture the Tooth Fairy so that Scott can go back to the North Pole, and Charlie convinces her. It's like believing isn't, or seeing isn't believing, believing is seeing, and he has that globe that is like magic. Yeah, and she gets whisked away to the North Pole, and they get married right before Christmas, and he has the magic to finish Christmas night.
And
then divorces her the next morning.
No, they love each other.
Or now.
And in the next one, I think.
I'm just being a cynical ass.
Yeah. Obviously I like this one the most.
Yeah,
I just love. So
yeah, this is my favorite of them.
I love Scott. So I love Mussolini Santa. I think it's hilarious. And then I also love because he's like, everyone's on the naughty list. You're all naughty, and like basically trying to cancel Christmas.
And he has the Nutcracker Nazis.
Yeah, the Nutcracker Nazis. And And I really like, so I like the aesthetic of Scott as Santa Claus and like him like doing magic stuff. But I also like him as Scott Calvin, like whenever he's just regular Tim Allen. And we get a healthy mix of that in this movie where he's like back just trying to it's a nice love story. He's fallen in love. It's a little weird because he's basically like you and it's like, I'm gonna marry you. But yeah, other than that, it's really nice.
Yeah, definitely. I'm just gonna break the fourth wall. I didn't get a chance to rewatch these, so it's been a while. But and I'm running on like 2 hours of sleep. So there's why I'm so quiet. But anyway.
Well, good, because you're spearheading the third movie.
Well, that's okay, because I got a paragraph here I can read. I saw this one in theaters.
I did. I saw
when
two
did the
and
first one
three.
come out?
94.
Okay, so we
none
were
of us
together.
saw it in theaters.
I mean,
I could have.
Second one and third one,
I did see the second and the third one in theaters.
Yeah.
I remember like being so excited to see the third one in theaters because
and then being let down.
yeah, I had so much love for the second movie and the first one, but the second one because it was the first one I saw in theaters. That might be a contributing factor to why I like it so much.
Yeah, could be. No. Doesn't really go with this one because I don't really like this one.
I don't hate
I
it.
liked it at the time,
It's okay.
but when I in recent years, I was just like, yeah, this one's not
It's a
as good.
fine. It's a serviceable movie.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like, where's my time?
Yeah.
I want my time back. But...
I like Martin Short a lot.
Christmas cheer turns into holiday chaos when Scott Calvin, Tim Allen, invites his in-laws for a visit and must simultaneously contend with Jack Frost's scheme to take over the North Pole. Scott, his family, and the head elf, Curtis, must join forces to foil the nefarious plot.
Yeah. He also brings Lucy and Neil and Charlie's mom up to the North Pole for whatever reason. But yeah, I don't remember why exactly. So they're having that like meeting of the elders again, of all the mystical creatures, and they're just saying like Jack Frost is causing them trouble, right?
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Oh, come on," or they're like not granting him status or something like that. And he's like, "Come on!" Scott's like, "I'll take him under my wing, and he'll help me out. I'll prove that he's, a good spirit or whatever." And obviously, played by Martin Short, he's like gonna use this opportunity to try and win over Santa's position, which he learns about the Santa Clause or the escape clause, I think, from Curtis.
Yeah.
Because so the escape clause is this one where if the current Santa is holding the snow globe that like embodies like this reign of Santa, and he says, "I wish I had never been Santa at all," he gets teleported back in time to the moment that he became Santa Claus, and he can redo that moment. So Martin Short learns this, and he basically sows chaos between Scott and his wife and his in-laws, so that he's like exasperated enough to be like, "Yeah, I wish I was never Santa at all." But so they're pregnant, and that's like a big contributing factor. And his in-laws are very annoying. Also, they're like, "Oh, how you running things up here? I can do things better." And he's trying to run the toy shop for Christmas, and it's just all heck breaks loose.
Maybe I'm misremembering, but don't the in-laws like not fully believe that he's actually Santa Claus?
Well, they don't. He doesn't tell them until after he comes back.
Okay.
So, spoiler alert, Martin Short ends up convincing Scott, or like tricking Scott to saying, "I wish I was never Santa at all." And then he gets teleported back in time.
With him.
With Jack Frost, who like tussles with him and ends up putting on Santa's coat and being teleported in time. He was Santa Claus for like it's like an alternate timeline type of thing.
Right.
He was Santa Claus for however many years. That,
It's like Biff getting the almanac.
yeah, kind of. For like 20 years or whatever. Maybe not that extreme, but I digress.
He basically capitalized on the North Pole.
Yeah, he opens up the North Pole to like the masses.
Right.
To make a shitload of money.
Yeah, which is so weird to me that like that's his motivation. Like, what's he gonna do with money?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's an immortal creature.
Yeah, he has magic to spare. It's just odd.
It is.
I do really like the showiness of it, because like he has like the Santa beard and it's like all like icicles and things, and he sings Frank Sinatra's New York, except it's North Pole.
Yeah.
I really like that scene. And the way that he convinces, or he and then Scott tricks Jack Frost how to say it back, because he has like a pen recorder,
Right.
and he gets him to say, "I wish I was never Santa at all," and he convinces Lucy to like sneak into the snow globe place and get Jack Frost's snow globe, and he tricks him, and whenever he throws his snow globe at him and he catches it, and he's like, "Oh great, now what are you gonna have me say?" "I'm not gonna say it," and then he's like, he hits the play button and it's like, "I wish I was never Santa at all," and he's like, "Now who said that? Rudolph's mama?" Because that's what Jack Frost said to Scott whenever he first came. He's like, "You tricked me," and it's like, "Well, I didn't. You said it." Yeah. This one just doesn't hold much of a place in my heart as the other ones, because like it looks great, but I don't know, the story is just...
I think it was a cash grab.
You think so?
I think they were like, we need to finish the trilogy.
I don't know. I could see that.
It's short too.
It is pretty short. That is a saving grace of the movie. It doesn't overstay its welcome.
No, it's like how long is the runtime?
Let's see.
It is not long. It is like an hour and some change.
Yeah.
I'll find it. Keep going. Hour and a half.
Yeah, hour and a half. Yeah, I mean,
Typical.
yeah, that's par for the course of Christmas movies. Yeah, so it doesn't really embody the Christmas spirit like the other two do, in my opinion. Like in the first one, it's like, oh, we're growing with Scott in becoming Santa. You know, we're feeling that like, oh yeah, sense of duty, and like, oh, the Christmas spirit being invigorated in him, like reinvigorated in him with that one. And in the second one, we're with Scott through his like love interest and his love journey, and that's like synonymous with Christmas, you know, love and giving and all that, goodwill toward men. So that is like, yeah, we feel that and everything. And in the third one, it's just like, I'm Jack Frost and I'm gonna steal Santa Claus from you. So there's not really like the warm-hearted feeling you get.
Yeah,
and like prior to that, it's basically Scott just arguing with his wife and his in-laws the entire time.
Alan Arkin.
Yeah, Alan Arkin as his father-in-law, because it's like, sure, there are like, that comes with the territory of like having family over during Christmas time. There's beef and arguments and things, but I don't want to watch a movie about it if it's not like a butt of a joke. You know,
usually more
AKA Christmas Vacation.
yeah, exactly. Like Christmas Vacation obviously has that, but it serves the purpose for comedy.
Right.
And in this one, it's just like tension and uncomfortability that I don't really care for.
Yeah, there's no joke of Carol's mom coming up to her and being like, I have hemorrhoids. And her going, oh, mother.
Oh, mother. Yeah. Yeah, so that's another reason why it just doesn't hit the same as for me, because it doesn't really embody the Christmas spirit.
It just doesn't hit the spot.
It doesn't hit the belly the way that it should.
It doesn't jiggle it.
Jiggle like a bowl full of jelly.
I'm gonna give the second one 2 jellies.
I wish that Charlie was in the third one more though. He's
I
in it.
forgot that he was even in it.
Yeah, he shows up at the very end because like basically Jack Frost is like sabotaging the workshop and fucking everything up, And then he shows up at the end. He's like, "Yeah, I came in to help, get things on track." Basically, him and the Molinator.
Oh, that's right. He does show up with the Molinator. I was gonna say like, I picture Charlie walking in like at the third act of the movie for like 2 seconds, and it's just like his stunt double, and he's like, putting out a cigarette like on a reindeer or something, and he's like, "Yeah, I came to help, Dad."
So Aaron had brought something up to me earlier, or I guess it was earlier in the month. Apparently, he saw a picture of the dude that played Charlie.
Yeah.
And he's like, "I'm ready to play Santa Claus now."
Yeah. He was like, "All I want," or it said on it. I don't think it was written on there.
Oh, yeah.
Something else was written on there, but somebody like typed something on there. It said, "All I want for Christmas is to play Santa Claus in the Santa Clause 4." And then everyone, like, people in the comments were like, "Oh no!" Like, do you know how you become the Santa Claus? They're like, "You have to kill your dad."
Maybe, so it could be the Santa Claus. So it could be like the inheritance clause, where it's like, for some reason,
You think David Krumholtz is just gonna like put on like the dreadlocks again and just come in and be like, "Well, it's the inheritance clause." They sound like books. Like,
where like, let's say
Bernard's just an alcoholic at this point.
let's say Scott like hurt himself and he can't perform the Christmas duties. So the inheritance clause is like, "Oh, well, your firstborn son is obligated to take over for Santa," and it's like him doing that. Like, you could write it any type of way, because clearly there's like a clause that needs to be the driving force behind every single one of these movies.
What if Charlie just pushes him off a roof?
I mean, he could do that.
He could do that.
That begs the question. So Scott and Carol successfully have their child by the end of the movie. Is it like a lineage thing, like a family lineage thing? Because like the previous Santa had to have had children, right?
Maybe.
Like with his Mrs. Claus, because there's the Mrs. Claus.
But where are they at?
Exactly. I mean, we're digging into this when we shouldn't be, but let's say like so.
What the hell, Disney?
Yeah. So Scott, like, whenever he like gets old enough and he's gonna die, he's like, "Charlie." He's probably like his
Charlie.
You have to take over for Santa Claus.
You have to take over me, Santa Claus.
Yeah, Mr. Krabs.
You're Mr. Pearl out of this.
But yeah, I think that's all we've got to say about the Santa Claus movies, right?
Yeah.
They're pretty straightforward. They're a great watch for the holiday
Solid
season.
holiday Christmas movies. Yeah.
It is hard to watch like one without watching the other two, at least. I mean, you could skip out on 3, in my opinion, but it's still worth the watch if you watch the other ones. So, rating time?
Yeah, rating time.
I'll give the first Santa Claus 6.5 out of 10. It's a great Christmas movie. It's short and sweet, to the point. Yeah.
I'm going to give it a 7 out of 10. 7 out of 10. It's a good holiday movie. It's a good movie.
It is good.
Yeah. Like you said earlier, these aren't like good like review movies, but I mean they're Christmas movies, so we were gonna pick something Christmassy.
I mean, you put it on to, I don't know, just
to get in the holiday spirit.
Get in the holiday spirit and
reminisce.
You don't watch it to like, I don't know, study it and you know.
No. You put it on to reminisce. Like that's literally what you do. Like you put it on, you're like, I remember Christmases long ago.
Yeah.
Scary ghost stories and tales of the glory.
Yeah.
I'm gonna echo your 7 for the first movie.
All right.
That's usually the one I go to.
Yeah.
All right. Let's get to the Spider-Man 2 of this trilogy.
Yeah. For the Santa Claus 2, I will probably give it a 7.5 out of 10. I don't know if I'm going to give it an 8, but close to an 8. 7.5. Because this one's my favorite. I could watch this all the time. And so I used to watch these all the time on like Freeform or ABC Family whenever it was still on. And it would always play the first one and the third one. And it would never play the second one. So
I don't know why channels do that.
yeah,
It must be some kind of like contractual thing.
Yeah.
So like I've seen those ones like. I mean, I've seen the second one a ton, but I've seen those ones far more. And now that they're all on Disney Plus, I could just go and watch the second one anytime I want. And it's my favorite one of these. So yeah.
I am gonna give it an 8 out of 10. I used to quote that movie all the time when I was younger. Like me and my friends would always quote that movie. So,
Yeah.
so now 8 out of 10 for quotability. There's no memes. There's no memes of the Santa Claus movies. Why?
It's hard. You can only post Christmas themed memes for so long out of the year. So
Okay, but like give them to me.
make them.
Maybe I will.
Uh,
We'll just start
I'm-
making Mussolini Santa memes.
I almost don't even feel right giving this one a rating because the way you guys talk about it, like clearly I need to actually sit down and rewatch this one.
It's a good one.
So I'm gonna opt out of giving this one a rating.
All right, fair.
Like I don't feel right in even saying anything.
All
You
right,
can rate it next time.
That's fair. Yeah.
Watch it, and then after Christmas, whenever we do the next one, we'll you can rate Santa Claus too.
Yeah.
We'll start the episode that way.
Yeah.
And for the escape clause, I'll give it just a 6 out of 10. It's lower than the first one, in my opinion. And yeah, it's still a serviceable movie. But yeah, just the weakest of all three of them.
Mhm.
I'll echo that.
I'm gonna go 5.5 out of 10. I do remember when we were talking about this one. I do remember this one a little more than probably because I saw it in theaters. So
Yeah, it sticks with you.
it just sticks with me a little bit better than the rest. But yeah, 5.5 out of 10.
All right. There you have it, everybody. Our Christmas themed episode in the books. Another one down. Thank you for your recommendation.
My pleasure, as always.
Well, we have another recommendation coming our way by yours truly. I'm sort of in the same boat as Aaron last time, a little ill prepared now.
Yeah, except I was ill prepared up until you said it's your recommendation, and I was like, oh, it is.
So,
You at least realized it.
I've had this one on the back burner for a little while. I don't know how long of a talk we'll have about it, but I wanted to revisit this one for a while. I really enjoyed it when I was younger, so I'm going to be recommending Jim Carrey's The Mask for
Oh,
next
yeah.
episode.
Oh yeah.
I haven't watched that, and I don't think I've ever actually watched that the whole way through.
No way.
Yeah, so I want to revisit it, and I figure now is as good a chance as any. So
Okay.
Oh no, yeah, I know.
I know.
I know like the lines from it and everything. I just don't think I've ever actually watched it the whole
Oh
way
my
through.
god. This is one of my favorite movies.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching and listening to our Santa Claus trilogy discussion and review. We sure enjoyed talking about it. Make sure to watch Jim Carrey's The Mask before next episode if you don't want to get spoiled for it. We will be having a spoiler discussion. Make sure to like, share, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And more importantly, have a happy holiday season and a Merry Christmas.
Ho ho ho.